and during the examination, he found a cyst. So I got an ultrasound, and sure enough, it was pretty big, sizable cyst. And then when they got in there to remove the cyst, instead of doing laparoscopic, I wound up having a surgery because I had endometriosis all over the place.
So they removed the tissue then?
They did.
Okay. Did it grow back?
It did. Probably worse. It grew back, but worst of all, I got adhesions from the surgeries because I had 2 cesareans. Then I had that surgery, and the adhesions were wrapped around the bowel, and that really caused some serious pain. And they went in again and scraped everything. And again, it's like a catch-22 because you're going in to get rid of the adhesions from the surgery, but you're having another surgery to do it.
Scripts. Okay, well, you don't need to be nervous. We're just having an open conversation about menstruation. I think that's actually a good point. We'll probably get into that in my documentary.
What, nervous sweating?
No, specifically why menstruation is such a difficult topic to talk about, conventionally speaking. But, like, it's just from an internal perspective.
I thought I would just have, like, I don't know, I was just kind of annoyed that I would have to deal with it for basically my entire life. Like, I don't even, like, it was just very hard to grasp in terms of, hey, you're bleeding. Right. Nobody tells anybody that.
Why?
Period. Because of the stigma, mostly.
Yeah, I think definitely that's an experience that most girls have, not trying to devalidate yours, of course, but I think that's problematic in itself. Can we go a little bit into maybe some stigma that you get from taking an oral contraceptive? Because I feel like a lot of people don't understand. They hear the word birth control, and they don't understand that birth control.
Yeah, and they think you're a whore.
So as far as being in pain, and essentially, would you say bedridden? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Not bedridden, because I couldn't even get to bed sometimes. I would just have to stay where I was and took Motrin, and then I would feel where I could start to move around. And
okay. Was that isolating? Did you feel like you... I
just felt it was normal.
Why?
Because nobody ever, like, no one I knew that ever talked about the pain that they felt. I didn't know anyone else who was dealing with the pain that I was feeling.
So
no one talked about it.
So you internalized that and kind of minimized your own pain, and was just like, well, everyone gets periods. Was that the mentality, or am I?
Oh yeah, I thought I was just ovulating, and this was like what was normal, and I didn't really complain about it too much. But it was very painful.
You hear about that a lot with women who get diagnosed with endometriosis or really aggressive cysts and things like that, where they didn't complain a lot, or they just powered through with things that are proven to be horrifically painful.
And I remember bringing it up to doctors and stuff, and them not addressing it.
Being dismissive.
Yeah. Really strong ibuprofen prescribed to me.
That's what they prescribed me.
Yeah, and that's helped. But as far as,
But it's not a long-term solution. It's actually really damaging for the body. And I think it's unfortunate that at this junction, the only science we have, or the only treatment, is a hysterectomy, removing the tissue and just hopefully it doesn't grow back, or ibuprofen, which destroys your liver. It's just really unfortunate that a doctor, a trained medical professional, I'm not saying they know, of course, that it's not the best for you, but there's no other alternative.
Right.
Unfortunately, especially
there
at my
isn't.
age.
I've never gotten any other opinions about it other than just take ibuprofen, Midol, or something like that. And they kind of dismiss you when you're at the doctor's.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I've read a lot of anecdotals about people having to really be insistent and advocate for themselves and go to multiple different doctors.
Nothing much has changed, and then once it does, and a diagnosis can be made that's somewhat accurate, the options are not very different from what they were years ago. Maybe going for DNC so that some of those cells could be removed from the uterus that might become troublesome. That's one of the options from years ago. Birth control pills that would limit the amount of flow or the even the period itself. That was an option years ago. I don't really think things have changed a lot, and a lot of times, by the time it is diagnosed, it's a major problem for young women. Sometimes they're infertile, sometimes they have difficulty having children, and I think it's kind of tragic there isn't more research on this topic.
Right.
But I feel like it's getting better for kids to talk about period